In this video, I want to compare both of these e-bikes to each other. I have the Tenways CGO600 Pro e-bike over here versus the Velotric T1ST. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of which product might be right for you. I'll put links to both of them in the description below, and I also have other full-length review videos on both of these products as well if you want to check those out. So let's get into it. It's chilly out here too, so let's make it quick. The first thing I want to get out of the way is all the similarities between these two products. You can see just based on the design that they are similarly made. They're like a road style e-bike, which means they're going to have thinner tires. They have no front suspension. They both have sleeker seats, which makes a great commuting e-bike for riding on smooth surfaces like in the city. But if you're going to be riding in trails or off-roading, then these probably aren't the right bikes for you. Both of these e-bikes have integrated front headlights, and they're different styles. I personally like having it built into the frame. It looks a little cleaner and sleeker, but this gets the job done as well. There's nothing wrong with it, but they both are lacking in the rear taillight department. They both have like these battery powered little lights that you just clip onto your seat post, and I don't love those for both of these products. I wish they would just integrate rear taillights into it. So maybe in a future model, both of them will do that. A few other similarities is that they both have a 350 watt motor that gets you a range of around 52 to 53 miles on one charge. And they both have hydraulic brakes, which makes them both nice for stopping. And then they also come in at a similar weight. I think they're around like 36 to 38 pounds. So they're both very lightweight. But that's probably about it when it comes to similarities. One of the first differences is that Tenways has a display panel right here versus the Velotric T1ST doesn't. It has a phone clip, which is nice if you want to mount your phone to your bike, but I personally like being able to see all my data and information from the control panel, not necessarily having to have my phone on the e-bike. They also have a button right here with colors that indicate different like pedal assist levels, versus this one shows it all on the display, and it's easier to read at a glance on the display. You also can track your mileage, where you can't track your mileage unless you're not using your phone, you know, something like that. So personally, I like having a control panel to see all that information. Another difference is that the Tenways has a belt drive versus the Velotric just has a regular chain. Now, belts actually last a little bit longer and you don't have to do as much maintenance on them, and they're not as greasy and oily and get you all dirty like that. So they last a lot longer and are better in that regard. But the Tenways is just a single speed versus the Velotric has a chain and gears that you can actually shift through to just kind of customize your riding experience a little better, whether you're going up hills and things like that. So you actually have a little more control of how you're riding, whether you want more resistance or less resistance, versus this is just a single speed. Now, having said that, I still feel like the Tenways is a very smooth riding experience, even though it has a single speed, and that's because of the magnetic torque sensor does a great job at adjusting, giving you more power or less power depending on how you're riding. So even if you're going really fast, you still have good resistance in your pedals, and even if you're going slow, it still feels natural and normal as well. So I actually can't complain too much, even though I can't shift through all the different gears, because it still is a great riding experience. The Velotric e-bike has a torque sensor as well, but I don't feel like it's as responsive as the Tenways. The Tenways, if you put a little more pressure in the pedals, boom, it's right there. It is just changing to how you ride. So it's very adaptive, riding like a normal bicycle, versus the Velotric one. It just isn't as responsive. It isn't as noticeable if you push down harder versus if you let up a little more. So I do notice that this just seems to be fine-tuned a little bit better as far as their torque sensor goes. When they both ship to you, they come in at a top speed of 20 miles an hour, but actually with the Velotric e-bike, you can unlock faster speeds at 25 miles an hour. So this actually has an advantage if you want to ride your bike a little bit faster. A few other differences that you're gonna see is that the Tenways has fenders on it, which I prefer that over no fenders at all. It just keeps your bike cleaner, keeps you cleaner when you're riding it. So that's a win for Tenways. And then also what I like a little bit more about Tenways is that it has a removable battery. Now, the Velotric T1ST looks sleek. Like, most people would probably think this is just a normal bicycle. It doesn't scream e-bike in any way. So you could probably get away with riding this in more places just because it looks like a normal bike. But I love the convenience of being able to take my battery out, especially if I want to charge it in the house and I don't want to take my whole bike in. I can leave my bike out in the garage and just pop the battery out and take it in to charge it in the house. Versus this one, I have to take the whole bike in the house every time I want to charge it, which just isn't as convenient as having a detachable battery. Another difference I noticed between riding these two e-bikes is I actually like the ergonomics of the Velotric bike a little bit better. For whatever reason, how they design the frame and the way the handlebars sit, it feels more natural and comfortable to ride this compared to this for me. This feels a little more upright and more of an athletic stance versus this just feels a little more comfortable, a little more nimble, and I really like the way this feels when you're actually on it. So I will say that in that aspect, I really do like the Velotric T1ST. And then one of the last things I want to share between these two products is the price. Because at the time of this recording, the Tenways e-bike comes in at $1,700 and the T1ST comes in at only $1,100. So that's a $600 difference between these two products. So if you want to save a little more money, this might be the better option for you. But if you're willing to pay a little more and get some of these nicer features, then the Tenways CGO600 Pro might be the option to go for you as well. So hopefully this breakdown gives you a better understanding of both these products to see which one might be right for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.